Friday before the big snowstorm. We're joined today by Rebecca Holcomb from CleanTurn. So as I was, thinking about this, when I first heard you were going to be on, the biggest thing I thought about was the kind of rebranding that you're going through. And I thought we would talk about it for 10 or 12 minutes or so, but there's so much more to your company and what you all do. I think we could talk about it for hours. So we can't do that, of course, so we'll try to hone in a little bit. But I want you to start by just talking about, so CleanTurn does residential, commercial, and demolition cleaning. But it's so much more than that. So you give a brief description on what purpose you serve.
So the best way to describe who we are and what we do is we are a cleaning service company in Columbus, Ohio that operates in the residential area, the commercial area, and then construction services area. That's the service we provide, but the mission and the why behind why we do that exceptionally is because we want to offer employment opportunities to those who have had challenges in their past. That could be anything from incarceration to addiction to just challenges in the workplace. It could be a lack of job history, all sorts of challenges. But we want to come alongside those individuals, be a great space for them to grow professionally, grow personally, and just see people excel.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, and so you guys, you've been in business now for a few years. Okay. So let's talk about, what size, what department, what group is the biggest of the three?
So our biggest in size is our commercial cleaning services, mostly in that even our PM work, so that operates 24 hours a day. Most people are looking to get their offices closed or cleaned when no one's there. So that's a big one that's growing. And size-wise, though, in terms of like volume and team would probably be that, but then when you look at number of clients, residential is people's individual homes, so it operates a bit different. And then our construction services, it might be a smaller team of guys, but their jobs are much longer. So in terms of size, things just operate different.
No, I get that. So let me, we're going to go off in a couple directions here, but I'm going to come down to the screen right now. A good way to contact them, as I segue into showing some of the benefits and what you all do for people, right now it's going to be Facebook. But if you're interested in knowing, make a note, and on Monday, go to CleanTurn.com, because it's the website. Our timing was a little bad today, and so it'll be ready, up and new, as good as it was before, even better. So make a note and go to that somehow. And if you come to Facebook, you'll like it, and you'll get that information.
And you can, our website's active. It's the bare bones. So in our rebranding process, all the details and kinks are getting worked out. So you can get your basic information at CleanTurn.com. But just give us a few days, and we'll have some more details for you.
Soon enough.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna come to this page here in a second, because I think as we deal as a financial services company with people, people really, as a whole, don't do great with their money and mess a lot of things up, and so that's kind of the purpose we serve. But obviously, when you're dealing with people who have issues in their lives, they probably are even more worse off. So talk a little bit about the benefits that you do and how that ties into the pay that some of your employees get.
So our staff, when they come to us, we have financial literacy, health and wellness, life skills, professional development. We have one-on-one courses, and we have two-on-one courses. By completing each kind of group of courses, we incentivize with a raise. With that, the point of that is we value you as a human. We want to see you grow, but we also want to obviously we can't make it mandatory, but it's our way of saying, hey, this really matters. We really want you to, take this serious. And those classes are specific to the needs of our staff. So in terms of our financial literacy class, a lot of that is basic budgeting. Here's your income, here are your monthly expenses, let's get you on a plan of savings. And we might be dealing with a really small number amount compared to what you guys are doing, but it's it's those foundational pieces that help our staff succeed. Money can be something in the past that they've never even really dealt with, managing themselves. Some of our ladies are coming out of some challenges where it might be the first time they're on their own, and that's scary, and so a lot of that is helping our staff just be set up well for success, and that, in the workplace and at home.
Right. Well, what's incredible about it, I think everybody could use this help.
Yeah.
So to know that these people are just, kind of starting down the path of maybe getting their life in order, that they are getting these lessons. And not only that, they're being rewarded for it, right? I mean, that's huge. I wish more companies would do this because employees, people as a whole, these aren't the things that we're taught in school and such. And so you come into the real world, and it could be too much of a challenge at times. So something we talked about before, which I know might be an issue, is when you're looking at residential, I'm glad the way you phrased this to me before, but a resident is going to hire somebody who's had a bad background, so how do you answer that, address that? Because you told me that you get that question every single time.
Yeah, we do, and I think if I was a consumer, no matter who I was hiring, I'd want to ask that question. How do you screen your employees? And we're very upfront with, and we want people to know our mission. That's not anything we ever want, to hide or be a backburner. We're proud of who we are. And so, when a client's asking, all right, so you're saying this person has had challenges in their past, they're going to be in my home, how can I trust you? And that's a good and valid question. And a lot of, what we communicate to our staff is we're in the business of changing perceptions. And in changing perceptions, choices that you've made in the past that doesn't define who you are, and that's not a permanent stamp on your character. And so we want to focus on, being ahead of the game, and, whether it's leaving notes, whether it's just being, we have some staff who it's like one little thing is off in the house and they're taking a picture and they're documenting it and they're telling the client. Over communication is always the best route. And so just knowing, like, hey, if anyone's coming into your home, it's a risk. It is. And so we want to set our staff up for success, but also know, like, that's part of why we exist, is to change that perception. And my favorite is when I get phone calls back from clients of, like, are you sure these are, the ladies who are supposed to have challenges? And you're like, yes, they're amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'd imagine that you've got employees who've been there a little bit, so they're going in as a team. Yes. And so any issue within the team is going to reflect on them. So they probably are taking some pride in that. Yeah. So you also work with, I wasn't sure, I asked you this before, what a struggle with employment would be. I would have thought that you didn't have enough work for these people that need this type of help, but that's still, you're just like anybody else at this point, right? Struggling to find people that need the work because of a low unemployment rate.
Yeah, which is a great problem to have in a city. But when it comes to kind of who we're looking for employment, it's matured as we've matured. Just meaning, we want to look at this specific individual and what's the next best step for you as a human. Sometimes full-time employment, you're not quite ready, and that's okay. And, like, that's not saying our door's closed, but we want to point you in the right direction to get you ready for that. We can't do it all, and so, we are in a process of, we're always looking for the next great employee. We have group interviews every first and third Thursday, and our HR is kind of, a group of people show up at our offices, and she's picking out, who's the most ready and who fits us and who we are. We have a pretty strong culture and identity, and we want people who are on board with our mission. So looking for those people who are ready, actually ready for the life change, and moving forward.
So for anybody out there who's looking, who might fit the description of what we're doing, you guys really do a great job, I think, of just working with them as a person, not just as a boy. And I think that's where, the big help comes in. So, so you do work with a number of groups and things like that. So, we talked about Lower Lights before. So let's talk about them and others that you may need.
So Lower Lights is located in Franklinton as well, and one of our career advancement classes we have is health and wellness, and we bring them in to talk on basic diet and choices of food and water, and just the basics of health and wellness. We have counseling opportunities provided for our staff, and that's through Lower Lights. One of their counselors comes into our offices, and you can schedule an appointment, and you can talk about anything. You can talk about your manager. You can talk about your life. So we want to partner with people in the city who want to invest in others too. We can't do it all, so we want to see people who want to invest in our staff and build that relationship with them.
Right. Okay. Any other partners like that you?
Yeah, so the Furniture Bank is one, and all of these relationships look a little bit different depending, but we have some ladies who are getting a home for the first time, and we partner with them to help get them connected. Dress for Success is a big one. They're a fun partner with our ladies being able to, if they have a professional work event to go to, they help a female feel very confident and get them suited up in a way that's great. So different pockets throughout the city, just sharing a mission of seeing people just excel and move past challenges and into giving back to their community.
Right. Well, and you had mentioned, because Dress for Success for women. So most of your employees, I know you mentioned a lot of single mothers and such.
Yeah.
So
The majority of our staff are females. Our construction services is predominantly male. It just happens to be a smaller team, but a lot of single mothers or just we are predominantly female on the cleaning service end. Things.
So Dress for Success is a great organization, and they help. Just as you're thinking about it, females as they might have an interview and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So a while back we interviewed Gary Jones,
Yeah.
and he has a similar, and I'm forgetting the name. I know they'll be able to list it, but they do it on the men's side too. So a couple of great organizations to help people get what they need and to feel successful. Hence the name Dress for Success. So, but anyway. So anything else you want to add? You feel like so you're rebranding right now, and I thought that's really what we had talked a lot about. But just to you're just consolidating the names and stuff. And hence the new website, right?
And I think a big thing, obviously with any change, especially in like a rebrand, we're the same mission, we're the same people. We are communicating it in two different ways, and that just gets complicated to manage. From even just a social media standpoint. So a lot of it is, the point is we want to be able to have a wider influence and impact and see more individuals successfully find employment. And so the rebranding of CleanTurn just helps us communicate that clearer. And again, it's the same team, it's the same mission. Some of our current clients, any sort of changes, like we're all the same behind the scenes, but it's that one team, one mission, one focus is helpful for us and for our staff as well, to feel that unity and not separate teams and things.
Okay. So. I'll ask this as an employee yourself. So tell me, have you learned like financial literacy and health and wellness and things like that?
That's a great question. So. We, in general, don't like the idea of us and them, or like management and staff. It's one team, and I need to learn just as much as you need to learn. We need an exchange of services. So you need to teach me, I need to teach you, and so yes, all of the courses and building blocks that we want to see our staff, entry level staff come into. I need it as well, so we're going to do that alongside you. Right.
I mean, those are helpful to anybody.
Yes.
So I think it's awesome that you guys are offering that. If your company doesn't offer it, and they're not going to, which is fine, you need to learn these things on your own anyway. So anyway, well, listen, Rebecca, thank you for coming in. It was great having you.
Thank you so much.
So next week we're going to have Travis Smith from Tribe West. Tribe Vest. I butchered that before. So, but thanks for joining us. Enjoy the snow this weekend, and we'll see you next week. think that was right about 15 minutes, so that's about, you know, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I love this. I kind of jumped on, like, at the end of this, so I just looked at a couple briefly, but I love what you guys are doing. I think that's great to take the time out and
Well, we tried,
connect.
I love having, there are so many good charities, and
Yeah.
not just charities, but, you know, helpful organizations, that we could do it all day
Yep.
long, you know. So one of my good friends with Justice for Success, I hope you remembered Gary. I
Yeah.
hope I remember that his name is Gary. It was Gary Jones, right?
Who?
That we had in here at one point.
I think so.
His name was Gary. I know it was
Yeah.
Jones because my last name's Jones. So, but
Yeah.
I forget his name. But
Yeah.
so the furniture.
Mhm.
How does that come in? Like when you're cleaning a place before they bring furniture to a place?
No, so we cleaned their offices. A lot of what we're doing is
Okay.
like we're going and we're cleaning their space, and then what they do. So like someone on my team just got her first apartment. She's got 7 kids. Like no furniture. So the furniture bank, what they set up an appointment. You have a specific time that you go in, and get the necessary items you need. So a lot of it is us connecting with people who are already doing what they're doing, and just kind of creating a shorter path for our staff to get that resource.
I need a post.
Okay.
Yeah, or bringing in, you know, he might come in and talk and say, hey, if you need this, that, and the other,